In 3, 2, 1, welcome everybody to another exciting episode of Buddy Talks. How's everyone doing today? We have another special guest. It's always special when he's here. Mike. Mike is back. Get ready for another nostalgia trip as I stumble over those words.
Oh, that's just awesome.
How's it going, Mike?
I'm doing great. I'm glad to be back to Vita.
Very sensual sounding. That's
I haven't even said it yet. hold on to your shorts because Brother Buddy's here.
I feel awkward. But anyways, before we get into this, we got some housekeeping to do, and I have comments.
Comments!
They are from a while ago, but I still have them. Mr. Darth Zigzag, a.k.a. Opus Garza, a.k.a. he's our in-the-field reporter for In Our Honest Opinion, especially when it comes to comic books.
Oh, nice.
He had a comment on episode 10, media consumption. He's very much enjoying me and you in our conversation episodes. Full nostalgia trip when we two get going, and he fully believes these combos can keep on going well past an hour segment, and I totally agree.
I totally agree.
Wholeheartedly agree.
Because literally, when you say we're at about an hour, I feel like I'm in a full sprint. You throw a hurdle in front of me.
Yeah.
Or a Mack truck, whatever.
Yeah, that's why I got to milk it for multiple episodes.
Oh, yeah.
Behind the scenes magic is we record a lot of these in bulk, and then I release them at the, over time. That's one reason why I'm bad about the questions. Another comment he has is from episode 13, Do We Even Own Anything Anymore? And he actually said, fun fact about the T Swift music. The music producer offered to give her back one of her old songs for every new album she makes. Hooray.
One
song for each new album.
Wow. Well,
yeah.
Maybe that's why she came out with Reputation. That one sucked so bad. I guess she wanted one back for that one.
I don't keep up with any of her stuff. I don't know how many albums she has. I know nothing about her.
In the past 2 years, she's done like 2.
But you know what artist I'm onto now?
Who?
Is Billie Eilish.
So I don't really know that much about her other than that she's a hot mess of stuff.
What do you mean hot mess of stuff?
Wasn't she like, I don't know, she was like suicidal or something?
Not to my knowledge.
Oh, really?
I didn't think so.
Yeah, the article I saw, I didn't read it.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know that much about her. I'll often hear, I don't listen to a lot of radio, but I'll hear something. I'm just like, man, this song jams. What is it? It's Billie Eilish.
So what I'm gonna do is
it's another eyelash song.
I saw she was doing carpool karaoke.
That's what I saw, and I actually heard her sing. Because before, my biggest issue
overproduced
was she was always whisper singing. I wanted to actually hear her sing, and she actually sang. And I was like, she is actually very talented.
Okay, so I'm definitely gonna check that out later on then, because I had only heard her name associated negatively.
See, and that's totally opposite. That's interesting. The circles we run in.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna have to, to hear what she's about, because all I heard was that she was like a suicidal whack job or something. But
no, she seems. I think she reminds me of people I hung out with when I was younger.
Oh, okay.
And it's just like, okay, and the thing that I like is she's not trying to be overly sexualized. She wears big baggy clothes so people can't comment on her. You can tell that she has a lot of nervous tics.
So she's human.
She's human. Because I was watching the one thing when they're talking to her, and she is she does this little she keeps touching her hair and keep touching her
right.
It's like, I think it's like nerves.
Well, I'm thinking that, I couldn't imagine. I have nothing against James Corden, but that whole thing has got to be stressful.
Yeah.
Plus, a lot of some of your best talent out there. Their biggest fear is themselves, because they suffer from anxiety and feel like they want to throw up before they even start their performance. So and they've done that the whole time. Yeah. So so I'm curious to see what she's about, because I saw that in my YouTube feed. So I was like, okay. And now I'm saying that's all I've heard about her, but that was enough to make me ignore it. If it wasn't for that, I probably would have just ignored it. So I'm curious to see what she's about.
I initially chalked her up to just like another pop star, like Ariana Grande and stuff like that. It's like, okay, it's the same popcorn stuff.
The donut liquor.
And no, I feel there's a lot more depth to her.
Okay.
She has kind of a Lady Gaga-esque type, I guess, where she's not the typical pop star.
Oh, okay. See, that makes me want to check this out even more.
Yeah. So, and they had the I think it was Vanity Fair who had the interviews with her when she was 16, 17, and 15, 16, and 17 at the time because she just turned 18.
Oh, okay.
And that's kind of weird, and we'll get into that later because weird pedos out there is just like, oh, she's 18 now. It's like, dudes, chill.
Oh, man, that's kind of messed up.
But I know we went off on a tangent already, but I just got to finish up this housekeeping.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. We'll finish with the broom.
Yeah. Go ahead and give us a 5-star rating and a written text review if you guys have any questions or comments. I'll definitely try to get to them. Or if you have any new things that you want to, if you have any sort of question that you want us to kind of field on here, send me an email at buddytalkspod@gmail.com, and I'll try to get it incorporated. Also, if you do all this helps us get the digital hugs out there because we love them.
I love the digital hug still.
Indeed. I usually have a sound effects in our honest opinion, but I didn't get it set up for here.
What do you prefer? Do you prefer hugging ones or zeros?
Both, man.
Both
all the same.
Yeah, you're right.
But let's get into it. I know I had a name for it before. It was Where Your Head At. And I know there could be some connotations with that. So I'm switching the name, especially also because I play Terry Bogard a little bit on Smash Brothers, and he's always asking if people are okay. And I'm just calling it the vibe check now. All right, Mike, this is a vibe check. How are you doing?
Oh, the vibe or five?
Vibe
check. Yeah. Oh, I'm vibing.
What is a vibe?
I don't know. No,
okay.
I thought you said five. Like the five check, like...
No.
Okay, vibe.
No, that's if I punch you in the face. That's a five check. Or slap. That's a five check. This is a vibe check. It's very different.
To the face.
Yeah.
Oh, vibe check? So that's like, basically it's, okay.
How you vibing, man? How you doing?
I'm vibing good, man.
How's everything?
I mean, you know what? It's like the holidays rip by so fast it feels like they haven't even shown up yet.
I know, right?
It's crazy.
Magic of editing.
I'm telling you. Looking forward to see what 2020 has for us, and changes at work, and hopefully some changes at home. So we'll see.
Changes.
Yeah.
Are you having another baby?
No, we're gonna get new couches.
Oh. Okay. I guess. I mean, it's almost up there with having another kid. Maybe.
We've had the same couch and love seat since we got married.
You've also had the same kids since you had the kids.
Well, this is true.
That they know of. Oh. All right, cool.
How about you?
Oh, thank you for asking. No one usually ever asks. I appreciate that. I'm actually doing I'm stressed, man. I am feeling pretty stressed out. Yeah, I'm still kind of going through the motions of trying to get everything all together. Work is it's great because they're seeing what I can do now. As a lot of people may not know, I do a lot of video production at work. That's pretty much my job. I'm a video production artist, and it's like I did such a good job.
You raised the bar, man.
I raised the bar,
and now you gotta
live up to that bar.
Deliver.
And me, I'm a perfectionist when it comes to doing my job.
Yeah, you are.
And I'm a stickler for making sure it's done right. So going through doing a lot of that new management and kind of working through that, and I have big shoes that I need to fill myself. It's like, all right, I raised the bar on this last one. Time to do it again and make it even bigger.
Yep.
So I have that, and like I said, my own harshest critic. Getting over the holidays, getting in the swing of everything, it's a lot. It's a lot.
It's funny. I was So holidays 2018, afterwards, New Year's came and I was trying to get in the swing of it, and I realized it was Thanksgiving 2019.
Yeah.
Yep. So here,
Yeah. What's funny is I didn't even sit back and think about that it is the end of this decade until like a little bit ago.
I did not really think about that either until so the whole 2000s kind of confused me because it's like
the aughts,
because it's I don't know, especially working in technology, the Y2K thing was such a big deal. So it's like once 2000 got here, it's like, okay, we're in the 2000s. I never thought about it being, okay, 2010 is the second. It never really occurred to me. But, I think you sent me something the other day talking about that 70s show.
I was just pulling that up.
That is crazy.
Yeah. The thing I sent him was that 70s show, for those of you who are unfamiliar, was the start of a lot of actors and actresses' careers, like Mila Kunis, Ashton Kutcher, Topher Grace, the redhead.
I don't remember her name either.
But the show debuted in 1998, and it was set in 1976. If that show were to come out now, in 2020, with the same premise, it would be set in 1998.
That's crazy. That 90s show.
Yeah. And what's funny for me is I always have this hard time when people talk about, oh, man, that was 20 years ago. I think 1980.
I do the same thing.
10 years ago, 1990.
Right.
No. That's like 20 years ago is going to be 2000.
Like like I said, I put all of the 2000s together and I haven't separated it mentally. So
yeah. I was like, we were just talking about Billie Eilish, and I was like, she was born in 2001. So
I've owned cars older than her.
It just like now talking to people who weren't alive when September 11th happened. That's like JFK. That's like all this stuff that we read about in the books. So I was like, oh man, that's tragic. That's crazy. I lived it.
Yeah.
A lot of these people I talk to and stuff I may work with know nothing about it.
Wow, they're really going to wonder what the heck we're talking about after listening to today's episode.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely. But, let's go ahead. That's a good segue into what our topic is today. So you and I, we have a habit of going on nostalgia trips.
I love nostalgia.
On these podcasts, which shows how old we are.
I know.
But it also, we use it to kind of bring other people in who are maybe around our age or maybe are curious about a time of long, long ago. I know we have your special guest live studio audience, which is your little one. My bigger little one. So the thing that I bring this up because I will never forget the time that you first showed her what a VHS tape was.
I don't remember this. But.
It was Batman with Michael Keaton. You showed her this VHS tape, and she's like, "What is that?" And then you're like, "This is where the movie's at." She's like, "Where's the disc?" There's no disc, and she didn't believe you. You had to prove it to her. You showed her the tape, and you played it, and she's like, "Oh, that's archaic." But it's just fascinating to me because that is a whole completely different generation. And like, she showed me something like the dance move, the Whoa. I was like, I don't even know what that is. I finally saw it, and so I just, we do the Whoa.
But I think they call it something different. Oh, no, that's what they call it, the Whoa.
Yeah, because there was like a best dances of the decade, and they talked about a lot of different things. And like, I'm so out of touch with so many things, pop culture, like TikTok. I don't understand it.
So I have gladly taken the back seat and have them, because I just asked them. So what's the hot thing right now?
Yeah.
And it's because I have no clue what they're going to show me.
Yeah.
But I enjoy the fact that I'm being introduced to this stuff, and I'm like, wow, I have no clue what they're talking about.
And the thing is, I remember being her age, talking to our parents about that stuff. Like, one thing I always thought was funny was, I was big into Power Rangers, and I think I was around her age when that was out. Mm-hmm. And, our dad would be like, what the heck is a Megazord? I was like, it's a Megazord? Come on, Dad. It's a Megazord. But now that's us, and that blows my mind.
Yes.
I mean, I feel like I'm a little more with it than you are. Because, I don't have kids.
Right.
But I like advanced. I know of TikTok. I just don't do it.
So something happens when you basically become pilot of the minivan.
Yeah.
And so I just you basically what instantly happens is whatever music you've listened to, there's like a trap door. There's like a hard close where the cutoff just happens right there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And speaking of music, our topic today is music videos.
So when was the last time you asked somebody, "Hey, have you seen the video for insert song title here?"
No. I want to say the last time I did that was probably in high school.
Really?
Yeah, because that's something that a lot of people now, we don't really talk about. Like in high school, like TRL was big. That's when Carson Daly, a lot of people who only know Carson Daly from The Voice. No, Carson Daly first started on MTV's Total Request Live. And that's when people would call in and request music videos, and they'd have a top 10.
Oh, and it would constantly change on the screen based on what the requests and stuff were.
So, like when NSYNC or Backstreet Boys came out, they would just be nonstop, like the number one, just because people would just request them nonstop. But that was the place to see the newest video, the new hotness, everything there. Now, that was for me. For you, it was even more different. And there's a 4-year gap between us.
Right. So for me, I remember the first time I saw MTV. So MTV stood for music television.
Yeah.
Because when cable was relatively new when they came out, they were supposed to have like the movie channel, the music channel, the arts and entertainment channel, and like they were supposed to be like the kids channel or something. So MTV was a big deal because now it's like, okay, so there was a whole visual aspect to all this music we were listening to. Fun fact, what's kind of funny is because MTV, so they hired they called VJs, instead of, DJs, right?
And not to be mistaken with vaginas.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so they would sit there and introduce all these music videos, but because this concept was so new, they had to go and look at archives and buy a lot of stuff. So there was this very popular show called Midnight Special that would come on where you'd have like a lot of artists go on there, and it came on late at night, adult oriented type of stuff. So the highest percentage of videos that they had was of Rod Stewart, because he was like a TV ham or something where he would just go and perform in front of any camera. So they had a lot of Rod Stewart.
Gotcha.
So and they had some stuff from Europe and whatnot, but there was a lot of Rod Stewart in early MTV.
I did not know that.
Yeah, there was a lot of Rod Stewart.
I did not know that.
It wasn't until, in my opinion, like 1982, 83 is when, Michael Jackson did his thing. Prince was doing his thing. But like, in my opinion, it seems like in like late 82 and 83 is when it really took off and artists really started, embracing it and turning it into their own. I mean, Michael Jackson did the whole mini movie thing. Oh,
yeah. Him and John Landis and everything, they get together. And like, I remember there would be premieres for his music videos. Like, it was an event.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's like, like Sunday night after In Living Color. They're gonna release the new Michael Jackson video.
Yep. And afterwards he'll have like a 30-minute like dance routine,
beating up cars and stuff.
Exactly. And then turning into a panther and walking away.
Right. And everybody going, huh?
Or have Magic Johnson, as Egyptian king.
Oh man, I'm losing it over here.
And or just something crazy.
Eddie Murphy
on there. Oh no! Oh yeah, it was Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy was the king. And Iman played his queen.
And Magic Johnson was the guard, like the head guard.
Yep. That was for the Remember the Time video.
Yep, it was.
Remember the time we saw the Remember the Time video? Yeah. See what I did there?
Yeah. And VH1 was
Video Hits 1.
Yep, they were the one to kind of go up against MTV. So they came out in 85.
So and what was funny was, so in 1985, we're talking mid 80s here. So they were both, well on their way. MTV was marketed towards the younger crowd. So you had stuff like Yo MTV Raps and things like that, where VH1 had a lot of Richard Marx and
Olivia Newton-John,
and who's the guy? Michael Bolton. They had a lot of Michael Bolton on VH1.
Yeah. Oh, I did not know it was the focus on lighter, softer side of pop music.
Yeah. What they call adult-oriented rock, or adult contemporary.
Adult contemporary.
Kenny G,
Fleetwood Mac, Tina Turner, Elton John, oldies. Wow.
They had this really cool thing that I would look forward to every summer, and you probably remember this.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
They would take all the music videos in their library and start at the beginning of the summer and play them from A to Z. Mm-hmm. So you always knew that you'd have a break when Phil Collins, So in the Seas, and then also when Genesis came on, because there were just so many.
Oh, there was
so
a lot.
many videos.
And then Michael, you get to the Jays. He's like, "All right, we're in Janet. All right, we got a little bit more," or some of the other Jacksons that we didn't care about.
I just felt so bad for Reby. She had that one
Reby
song,
Jackson,
Centipede.
Yep.
Which is like come and go.
Yep. And
Horrible
we just
video.
wait, and then boom, here we go. We hit Michael Jackson. It's like, now it's time to just kind of sit and bask in the glory.
Yeah, for 3 days.
Yep. And it was great.
And they'd have all sorts of stuff like, so on the radio you had your Casey's Top 40, but you'd have your.
I'm also going to clap so I can see it on the thing. So yeah, we get the Michael Jackson videos. I knew I'd be good for a pretty good time because I'm just sit back and enjoy it because you know it's going to be there for a while.
Well, yeah, it's a couple days.
Yeah.
Maybe 2.5 days. You know? So because not only did you have the Michael Jackson stuff, but you had, like you mentioned, his siblings, but then the stuff they did as the Jackson 5, and then the stuff they did as the Jacksons.
Yeah.
So you were there. Poor Reby. That video was still horrible.
And the thing is, I don't know why I still remember bits of that video.
Because it was so horrible. Centipede. It was bad.
It was really bad.
Well, no, it wasn't bad. It was.
That's true.
Bad in the bad way. Not
this
like,
is like Inception.
I'm telling you. Yeah, my head is caving in right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so VH1, they do a lot of stuff like, but yeah, you saw, I got exposure to a lot of music I remember listening to as when I was even younger. More stuff like my mom would listen to or whatnot, that you just wouldn't see on MTV.
Yeah.
Because MTV would do a lot of, so you weren't going to see Beastie Boys on VH1.
No.
You weren't going to see LL Cool J on VH1.
No.
But if you wanted to, like you said, Fleetwood Mac or
McFadden
and Whitehead, if they had a video, that would be on there. Yeah. But VH1 later on, they became really good as at being like a good music channel because they did their behind the music and their pop up video thing.
Yeah.
Whereas MTV was slowly turning into 24-hour day spring break.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think early on I enjoyed VH1 more because I felt like I wasn't allowed to watch a lot of the stuff that was on MTV.
Well, MTV, it was like you'd see stuff, and I would have trouble determining what the commercials were and which one was the music video. So I'd always wait for like the label to show up in the lower left-hand corner. Yeah, and I'll never forget that font.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's pretty much because that was back in the day. So I want to say it's late 80s, early 90s. Your only like sources of listening to music were the radio or music video channels.
Right. That was it.
And that was all you had. You make a mixtape. Especially us being kids, we couldn't afford to buy a lot of CDs and stuff like that. That's what we had to listen to. And that's all we had.
And I preferred the music video, just not because of the whole visual thing, but because they would broadcast in stereo. So I'm going to get a little technical here, but what drove me bonkers on the radio was that the DJ would basically talk over the beginning and the end. So I like to have the full cut. Yeah. And I was able to do that we had the TV hooked up to the stereo, so I could just stick a tape in the tape deck, or record it on. We had a stereo VCR, so do that and then pull it off later. So it was, I'm very analog.
Yeah, and like one of the things I remember was waking up in the early morning, Dad would be getting ready to go to work. You know, he's in the military, so he's getting, you know, his fatigues and everything dressed, set up, ready to go. And he'd put it on one of the music, like, video stations, and I would wait for the Ninja Turtles, like, song to come on from the soundtrack, and they'd have clips from the movie, and I would be so stoked because
That's right.
I was like, this is awesome. I don't usually get a chance to see any of this stuff. I didn't understand movies and everything back then because we didn't really go to movies a lot. So this was my fix.
That and soundtracks took a whole different turn in the 80s because it was like a lot of times, I mean, they were less expensive to make because, especially if they had the movie in the can, they just show clips, right?
Yeah.
So do you know who they would call the soundtrack king of the 1980s?
John Landis?
No, soundtrack king.
Oh, Kenny Loggins.
Kenny Loggins, thank you very much. So it's like you could sit there and watch a Kenny Loggins video and feel like you've seen the movie.
Yeah.
Seen enough of it to where you could talk about it in school if you had to.
Yeah.
It was like, you know, we didn't have Wikipedia, so you had had the music channel.
Exactly. Now, like, everything now is so on demand. It's like, man, I'm sitting there and I want to listen to Donde Está Santa Claus, and I can go ahead and punch that in my phone and I can pull up the music video on YouTube.
That's just, I never would even thought of. So that's the thing, right? I'm just going to reference our media consumption episode where it's the whole, a lot of the things I discovered in life were in passing.
Yeah.
You know, I could think of a good number of things that, I never would have seen that if, you know, but it was like that's why commercials work, right?
Yeah.
But now I sat there the other day, I was looking for something to watch on YouTube, and it got to the point where I was just trying to randomly find stuff because how do you channel flip on YouTube? All the recommendations are based on what you've watched already. And don't get me wrong, my feed is pretty wacky looking because of all the random stuff.
Yeah.
But you know, that's one of the things I miss because summers you could just sit there and have a music channel on and just watch it because you didn't know what was coming next.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay. And the rotation wasn't that bad.
No, they had a lot more.
You may see the same music video. Maybe like if you saw it like 10 in the morning, you may see it again at like 4 in the afternoon because it really depended. And this is before they did like the TRL stuff where they had all these segmented, you know,
where they would just play videos.
Right. They would just basically just let it run.
Yeah.
And then have some commercial or
you
something.
Get Don Henley's Boys of Summer.
Oh my gosh, Don Henley. Oh, okay. So I'm going to tell you. I want to tell you first because I don't want you to steal my answer.
Okay.
Number one favorite music video.
Okay.
1980s. Or actually favorite music video, period. You know, I'm going to go ahead and ask you, even if you take my answer, that's fine.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I need time to think about this.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
The one that stands out in my mind every single time because to me it was so revolutionary and nothing like I had ever seen before.
Oh, I think I know.
Oh, here it comes. He's going to take my answer.
Is it Sledgehammer?
No, but that's in the top 5.
Yeah. Okay.
So yours is Sledgehammer?
I said that's the one like that sticks out. That one and with him and Chevy Chase.
Oh,
those stick out.
You can call me Al?
Yeah.
Because I was so confused because I didn't understand. I thought Chevy Chase was a music star.
Exactly.
But yeah.
Yeah, I didn't understand it.
So the one that sticks out in my mind and is one of my all-time favorite 80s songs is Take On Me.
Oh,
by a-ha.
Yeah. I'm changing my answer. I'm changing my answer.
Man and Machine. No, sorry.
Yeah.
So there was
Nation.
They did like a 3 or 4 part special on YouTube where they talked about the history of that song.
Yeah.
You need to check it out, but it's because it's
I love
really
documentaries.
Cool. There was actually an original version that sucked.
I'm not surprised because I cannot name you any other song off of that album.
The Sun Always Shines on TV?
Nope. Never.
Blue Skies?
Mr. Blue Skies, I know that, but that's not them. That's not them.
You know, I got to see them in Norway.
No, I did not know that.
Did. Yeah, we were we were at a club because we used to go watch DJs and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And they showed up. They're from there, so
yeah.
They did it. I was like, "Whoa, it's a-ha!" And they were like, "You know who a-ha is?" I was like, "Yeah." They go, I said, "Yeah, I have their album." They go, "You know, they have like 4, right?" So I actually have all their albums. Yes.
Okay, I can't name you any other songs, but because none of the other ones matter.
Living a Boy's Adventure Tale? No, don't know that one either.
No.
Man, I'm gonna have to. It's on the server. Go download it.
That's a hard pass.
That's a hard pass.
That's a hard pass. No offense to you, Aha.
But they did take advantage of his falsetto. That was a very
They
good,
did.
that was a very good. I don't know that music video. I mean, because that part where. So if you haven't seen it, listeners, check it out. It's called "Take on Me" by Aha. I mean, it's very catchy. You know, it's like either a Korg or a Yamaha DX7 at its finest. It's not like your typical Duran Duran video, but there's a mix of animation and live motion.
Yeah,
and it all seamlessly flows together.
It's a really good job, and it's a marvel to think that came out before. Now you have, I think, Instagram filters that can mimic it.
Do they really?
I think so. Or there's apps that can kind of mimic that look, and it's just wild.
Wow, I need to check that out.
Yeah.
Wow. You mean I can do the whole Take on Me video in my own house?
I could probably do that with After Effects, honestly.
Wow. Yeah, they had to hire these artists. They like that style.
And they would actually have to draw each frame. It was like rotoscoped.
That's exactly what they did.
And that's something that anyone can do. Someone could probably do it on their phone.
So now, because they had the music channel, as the vehicle, right? I mean, when else would you have seen that? I mean, I'm trying to think. When else would I see musical performances when I was a kid? So there was a show on called Solid Gold that came on Saturdays or Sundays, right? Yeah. So you'd have an artist on there. So my exposure to music before MTV was you had Solid Gold, you had Putting on the Hits or something like that, Soul Train, Midnight Special, but I was never up that late.
Yeah. And various variety shows would have musical guests.
Right. But
like Carol Burnett.
But the thing
Burnett. Carol Burnett, Sonny and Cher.
But the thing that was very different was Soul Train and Solid Gold, not so much because they were lip syncing all the performances, but a lot of the live performances sounded so different from the studio one. And it used to bug me as a kid.
Yeah.
I was really picky about that stuff.
Yeah.
And I guess that's why I like Solid Gold so much. So now you can sit there and watch MTV, hear the song, and then you hear it on the radio, and it's the same, and you're picturing the music video.
Yeah.
So that group like Aha, right? So you could do something like that, though it cost more, but you had a whole different audience now.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just the radio; it was the television, because I mean that's what we did: radio and TV, more TV than radio. But there were certain artists that resented it. Like, for instance, Christopher Cross. Mm-hmm. Okay, so he had a song. Sailing was the one, Ride Like the Wind. But Christopher Cross, also, fun fact, the only artist that has looked like both members of Tenacious D. Look it up. You'll know what I'm talking about.
That was hilarious when I saw that. That's one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
But he wasn't... Okay, so he very talented musician, singer, songwriter. Mm-hmm. I like his stuff. Not very camera friendly.
No.
He had a certain look to him. So
and that's another thing we'll get into.
So he felt like he kind of it hurt him because he wasn't going to go out and do music videos. I mean, I think he did maybe one for Think of Laura or something, and he was behind a piano the whole time or whatever, right? So Billy Squier was another one. I mean, he had his music videos look really wicked, and he blames MTV for the end of his career.
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, he did Naughty Naughty. No, that was another guy. But Billy Squier, he did some other stuff.
Was he
not really anything I listened to?
Billy Squier.
Yeah. So and he was running around doing some crazy things in leather pants and stuff.
Lonely as a Night.
Right.
Rock Me Tonight.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I don't know.
John Parr did Naughty Naughty, I think.
Yeah. But what's so funny as we talk about a lot of these musicians and everything. Okay. Let's jump back. Okay. Kenny Loggins.
Kenny Loggins.
Okay. Look at him.
Yes.
He looked like Jesus.
Okay. Back in the Loggins and Messina days?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at Hall & Oates.
Yes.
Okay. You had Oates. Was Oates the one with the mustache?
Yeah.
Looking very
John Oates.
Yeah, John Oates with the pedo stash. Yep. You had a lot of these musicians that really weren't lookers. Meatloaf.
No. Yeah.
You had Joe Cocker.
Right.
They got by a lot on their musical talent and everything because it was the early days of music videos, and it was very different. Mm-hmm. Like when music videos came out versus how it is now.
I'm thinking of a Puff Daddy video from the late 90s where they had explosions and Bentleys and
where let's look at Milli Vanilli. Okay.
Ooh.
Milli Vanilli. They got by They had music videos. They were shown as frauds. They were lip syncing the music. And wasn't the reason why because the people who were actually performing it weren't really appealing to the eye?
Yeah, so that was, I call that a marketing experiment gone bad.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, that's what I call it. But what it was is Arista Records was looking for some new talent with a sound that would capture people, right?
Yeah.
So they found these two dudes, I forgot what their name, Rob and Fab. I don't remember their last names.
Yeah.
But I mean, they could barely speak English, but yet they're sitting there blaming it on the rain and all this other stuff. So what it was is it wasn't the fact that the way music videos are made is you do lip sync them when you film them, and they put the audio track on afterwards, right?
Yeah.
Because still, in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with lip syncing to yourself to do a performance. So Michael Jackson's iconic Motown 25 performance that we did Billie Jean, that was completely lip synced.
Yeah.
But he was lip syncing to himself.
Exactly.
Okay. So what angered everybody is that, okay, yeah, we were duped. We were believing these guys were all talented. I mean, they're jumping around singing and stuff, Well, they were jumping around and moving, and dancing and stuff.
Yeah.
They had some moves that was cool, but they were claiming what was coming out of the speakers was all theirs.
Was them, yeah.
That's the part that was wrong, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Now, they had steamroller parties where people got to smash their Milli Vanilli.
Vanillity?
Milli
That's my new punk band is Vanillity.
Milli Vanilli tapes and CDs.
I'll do a Milli Vanillity, but cover band, cover band. How would that even work?
I don't know. Playing like ska, Milli Vanilli and ska. So anyway, I didn't go to any of those.
Yeah,
I still have the CD.
Yeah,
I have the vinyl records. People are actually looking for the records now because here's the thing, all right?
Mm-hmm.
I saw the music videos, but even today, I can still enjoy listening to the album, just the audio part. I love the music.
Mm-hmm.
It still sounds great. In fact, I have the second Milli Vanilli album called The Real Milli Vanilli, and it has the actual people on the cover.
Yeah, they're from Munich.
And the music is actually good.
Yeah.
And what's just so funny is hearing the same type of sound, but the people are completely different.
Yeah.
It's sad how it went down.
Yeah.
And it discredited a lot of people because the whole music machine thing, right? It was all about making money.
Yeah.
But me as the consumer, did I feel like we were duped? Yeah, I thought it was funny, but the reason the reason we bought the CD or got the album was because we liked the music.
Exactly.
So, for instance, I really didn't know anybody who collected music videos, but I tell you what, I would go get the tape and CD if I really liked the song because I liked the song. I didn't have to see it. In fact, a lot of the times, because just the TV was on, that's how I found out about a lot of the music I liked. I saw the music video, then I'd go save up and get the CD or ask for the tape or something or get it that way.
Yeah.
So the whole Milli Vanilli thing, I still listen to that album. I still like that album.
Yeah. The people who did the album, the musicians were good.
Right. So,
not to discredit them. It's just the other people are frauds.
Right. And they, it's like, whatever the opinion is, it's like, were they victims? I mean, money exchanged hands, and all this other stuff. I won't get into all that. But if MTV wasn't around, would that have happened? Probably not.
No.
So, now the whole lip syncing thing, even though it's used for legitimate reasons. Like, I'm sorry, Michael Jackson could not make it through an entire concert dancing like that and singing at the same time. Like those times, like he would do "Man in the Mirror" after he did like some fast paced song, and he's barely getting the words
Billie Jean
out.
And like Billie Jean, and then in the Smooth Criminal, and then getting to that. I mean, you can tell sometimes when he's actually still live,
right?
Because it doesn't sound the same, and he improvs. But then there's some where it's like, okay, this isn't him. He's dead tired.
Right. I mean, so then you have poor Ashley Simpson, right? That was her name.
Yeah.
Was it Saturday Night Live or something?
Yep.
There was some mix up. It wasn't the right, even though it was still her on the track, but the whole lip syncing thing turned into there was such a stigma
that ended her career.
Yeah, that pretty much ended her career. So I mean, but MTV did well. I mean, they did. It was like adding fuel to the fire. I mean, because you had to look a certain way. So you could sit there. You could look a certain way and dance a certain way, but then the whole vocal talent was a afterthought. Mm-hmm. Oh, we'll fix it in the mix.
Yeah, we'll fix it in post. Britney Spears.
Yeah.
She can't sing. She can't.
I'll tell you what, the first time I saw that Hit Me Baby One More Time video,
I didn't care.
I was at the Best Buy. I was like, who the heck is... I mean, it was muted. You couldn't hear anything. Yeah. So, but then when I heard it, I was like, oh, it was... Okay.
Yeah.
Let's mute it. It's better.
Yeah. I first saw it during TRL because I had double sessions in freshman year of school. I was like, who is Britney Spears? This is an angel that has come down to earth. And this is amazing. But... she can't sing.
No,
she can't. And like it's funny because before you'd hear people in concert and it's like, man, this is really cool. I didn't like the concert version as much because I was so used to hearing the studio mix.
They sounded different.
Now I have a new appreciation for concert music.
There's a lot of. I mean, there's a lot of athleticism there.
There's a lot.
You got to have stamina to be able to keep doing that.
Exactly. You're like a horror movie person because. It's the thing I always said was horror movie man stamina. People will be running full dead on sprints, okay? And the horror movie man is walking.
Right.
But keeping pace.
That's right. Exactly.
And they'll sometimes be in front of them. So it's like when the camera's not on them, is he just sprinting as fast as he can? What is he doing to get there? But he's not out of breath. Nope, he's still hacking and slashing like the best of them. But like I've heard some bands live, and it's a train wreck. Right. Like Evanescence, they have a cool sound to them. Mm-hmm. I heard live, and it was terrible.
Didn't hold up. Huh?
It was not good at all. But then we have Paramore. Okay, I like Paramore.
Dude, Hayley Williams, man, she delivers. She delivers,
bro. Like you listen to her on the record, then you hear her in concert, and she still sounds just as good.
I had an opportunity to hear just her vocal track. From, I forgot what the I don't know if it was a Riot album or what, but
probably
just her vocal track. I mean, the hairs are standing up on my arms because she just hits it. She just
And then hearing the acoustic version, it's just like she's still flawless.
Yes. Yeah, doesn't need a computer, doesn't need,
And she owned it when her nudes came out.
I'll tell you what, there was,
Not that I've seen that.
Allegedly, I've heard about that. Yeah, ain't it fun?
Yeah. But like her, Emily Haynes from Metric, she's also one who's solid.
So someone I've seen in concert. Yeah. I don't know. Have you actually seen Paramore in concert?
No, I've just heard their concert album and I've seen it on TV.
So I got to see this guy perform live in concert, and I had a bunch of Lenny Kravitz.
Oh, I'm sure that was phenomenal.
Oh my goodness. I mean, he came out at 11.
Yeah.
And did it for the rest of the evening and just, Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Because I think one of the coolest concerts I ever saw was 21 Pilots. I still get chills when I just because Car Radio is one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
And then Trees.
Yeah.
And they played those are close to the end because those are some of their biggest songs. And bro, they put on a show.
And for the fact that it had that impact when it was at the end of the show when they should be tired.
Yeah.
And just ready to hang it up.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and they put on they do this thing where they get drum kits, and they put them out. The crowd's holding them, and they get up and they crowd surf to the drum kits, and they start playing the drums as the crowd's holding them.
Oh, get out! Really?
Yeah.
Wow. The logistics have to be a nightmare.
Yeah, because you got to think, and they're going on for this drum solo end part of the song, and it's just that's crazy.
Wow. What if someone drops the toms and then that's it?
Yeah.
You kick drum the whole time.
Yeah. Or you're falling on the ground.
Gives a whole meaning to crash cymbals.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So, I mean, that's another aspect that I found enjoy, especially with bands, is when you got to see them actually perform. Yeah. Right? Because how many times did you see a music video as a kid, right? So, okay, here's a good example.
Yeah.
And the person you saw singing was not what you expected. It happened to me in 1987 with a song you may have heard of, Never Gonna Give You Up.
Yeah.
I thought Rick Astley was a black guy.
Yeah.
And then the video came out. I was like, who's this skinny redhead?
Yeah, doing wall jumps off of like chain link fences.
No, that was the dancer.
Oh, that was the dancer.
He was
just doing the little shimmy.
Doing the arm shimmy shuffle in the raincoat and the turtleneck.
Yeah,
and the nautical.
That's still a good song.
Thing.
I don't care what anyone says.
I tell you what, I rock that song whenever I can.
Yeah, that's still a good song.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that I don't want to get you in trouble for copyright infringement is keeping me from singing the line.
I know, but like. And here's okay. You probably didn't even think about this. There's another person who did a fantastic job off of his music videos, and I only knew him because of his doing music videos. And there was satire.
Oh, Weird Al?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know his music beforehand, but I would see his version of Bad, which was called Fat.
Like a surgeon.
Yeah. Eat It. And seeing his versions of those videos, and I thought it was always hilarious, but that was my introduction to Weird Al.
MTV did very well. I mean, Weird Al did very well with MTV.
Yeah,
because that was a lot of people wouldn't be here as we know them without it.
Yeah.
Now, what always makes me wonder, because I like to flip the coin, is who would be here if MTV wasn't? Would Christopher Cross have had more albums? I don't know, but
who knows?
The whole musical landscape would have been different.
Oh, definitely.
I can't tell you how, but it's still refreshing though to see someone new. But the thing is, it's like I don't. There's nowhere for me to actually watch to see that someone new because, well, MTV doesn't even show me.
Well, here's the thing. I think the landscape has changed.
Okay.
Because you don't see music videos anymore. So I think it's giving the opportunity to a lot of people who typically wouldn't ever had a chance.
So the whole YouTube generation where you can post like in the early aughts.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that now, right?
Yeah.
It's when I was DJing and doing things, but it's like everyone was a DJ or producer.
Yeah.
Then, everyone was making their own electronic music and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And it was so saturated. It was like, okay, maybe I'm not going to do this anymore.
Exactly. So like a lot of hip hop and everything when Vine was big.
Oh yeah.
You'd hear a lot of like Vine mixes on TikTok. There's a lot of musical crazes and stuff like that based off of different songs.
Right.
And a lot of people are getting exposure through social media and through things like that.
So the channel has changed.
Oh yeah, definitely. So like there's this one guy who sings Only Human.
Only Human. I know that's a Jeffrey Osborne song.
No, it's like this big dude. I can't remember. Oh, hold on. Don't put the blame on me. I think it was one of the lyrics.
So it's funny you said Human. I was thinking Human League, but then that was a whole different.
Yeah, Rag and Bone Man.
Who?
Okay, Rag and Bone Man. It's that dude right there. He's this big British white guy.
That is not what I expected to see.
Now, when you hear the song, I thought it was this soulful black dude.
Wow.
But he doesn't look like someone that you would ever really...
he Rick Astley'd you.
He did.
Wow. He Rickrolled you, sort of.
Yeah.
With his own stuff.
And it's just like, I hear a lot of these groups and everything. So a lot of music exposure I get now off of games. Off of like little music videos people make. Because there was a time in the early aughts when people would do anime music videos.
That's right. Yep.
So people would cut their own music videos based off of whatever popular anime was out or whatever they love. So you see all sorts of Dragon Ball crossed with Linkin Park. You see all sorts of stuff like that. And that was also a lot of exposure to me for a lot of popular music.
So I will say that I remember you getting into the whole soundtrack piece when it came to like video game shorts or whatnot.
Yeah.
Because So there was this. I don't remember if it was a game or a short or what.
No, it was just a short. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Killer Bean,
which had at the time one of the dopest soundtracks to me.
It still holds. I like it. I still like it.
It's cool, and like I got into the whole just music based off of different things like that. Like I remember watching Smallville, and there was the song by I think SR-71 that I loved. I think it's called Tomorrow. I was like, this song is awesome, and that's how I was getting a lot of exposure to these different types of music or different types of songs and things like that. So to go back to your questions, would they be popular? I think I think the people who have talent would still find a way to come through.
Right.
Because let's look at a lot of modern pop music. I'm very out of touch with it. Okay. But apparently a lot of it comes from Disney stars, Nickelodeon stars at one point. I'm sure the live studio audience can go to town telling us all about like modern music I have no idea about. Is live studio audience, is Justin Bieber popular anymore? He's not, apparently. No. I didn't know that.
I didn't even know he was married until they said something.
Yeah, I saw it because they talked about him and everything like that, but he's not popular anymore. But he got his big break from YouTube.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he was
discovered from YouTube. I think, what, right.
Usher.
Yeah. Well, either him or Justin Timberlake. I can't remember. I think it was Usher.
I thought it was Usher.
Yeah, I think, and he's the one who came out and like did his thing. But it changed. I had this conversation with someone, and it's like, man, all these kids and everything on there who just like doing that. It's like, but that's how the landscape has changed. You can't be angry with them.
No.
Because technology has shifted, and they're keeping up with the times.
Right.
You can't hate.
So let me ask you this question then.
Yeah.
Because I find myself, and I'm not, I don't call myself musically rigid, because if I like something, I like it.
Yeah.
Right. So do you think there's like some point where people just say, you know what? I mean, I made a joke about it being, minivan pilot, and basically everything I listen to just stops right now. But do you think that there's some point where someone just decides, you know what? I don't really care what's new. Everything new just sucks. I'm just going to listen to all the old stuff.
Yes.
So.
Oh, definitely.
At what point does that happen?
I think it happens when we are no longer in touch with what's popular.
So, okay. So based on that, I can honestly say that, I don't, the radio stations that I listen to, are the ones they play. It's so funny. They play classic hits of the 90s or the early 2000s, which completely cracks me up.
Yeah.
But, I'm like on this 5 to 10 year lag now.
Yeah.
So, because I'll listen to that station and hear something, I may hear I may hear a name, or like, for instance, like, so Arctic Monkeys, right?
Yeah, I love them.
So, everyone, what was it? AM, the AM album. So everyone,
Are You Mine?
Right. So heard that, and then I heard their other stuff, which was unlike that album.
Very different.
Which was like, ooh,
and I
like that too. Yeah. So people mistake me for saying, okay, well, you're just stuck listening to your stuff. Don't get me wrong. I have my staples in my collection.
Yeah.
But what I struggle with is trying to find a radio station or something I can go and look at where I can sit there and be exposed to new stuff and have more things that I like. Because, like, for instance, if I listen to like the local pop station, right?
Yeah.
It just gets so tiring because I don't like anything I'm really hearing. Plus, they play the same 5 songs. So
yeah. Go to your question. Okay. So I think we get stuck in our habits. We get stuck in the things we like, because it's almost as if it's us growing up. Okay, we reach a certain point, and we kind of get set with what we like, and we continue down that path. Now, there's so much other stuff that's out there, especially in this day and age. And like you said, radio stations, they play a lot of the same things on rotation. Almost every 15 minutes you hear the same song.
Right.
You switch to another pop station, and it's the same thing. It's just they're not totally in sync.
Right.
But you already like a lot of the stuff you enjoy, so it's harder for you to get exposed to a lot of newer things. So, Goo Goo Dolls. Okay?
Oh, man.
Iris and Slide.
I love the Goo Goo Dolls.
Iris and Slide were from everything...
Dizzy Up the Girl.
Dizzy Up the Girl. Everything But the Girl. That's a totally different group.
Totally.
Dizzy Up the Girl.
Like the Deserts Miss the Rain.
And those songs were on the soundtrack for City of Angels with Nick Cage. Shout out to Adam.
Yes, that is correct.
Oh, Iris was. Slide wasn't.
Right.
That was just like what came after Iris.
See, so I get Dizzy Up the Girl and Boy Named Goo mixed up.
Yeah.
So
Boy Named Goo was the first one.
Okay, so that's the one that had the song called Name on it.
Yeah.
And then they had Dizzy Up the Girl.
Yeah,
Dizzy Up the Girl was the one I liked better than that one. Okay.
Yeah. Now, Their other album is punk.
Yep.
And it's a totally different sound.
Mm-hmm.
So you're seeing a lot of that where, okay, Arctic Monkeys came out. I started listening to them with the album AM. I listened to the older stuff. I was like, wow, I still like a lot of the older stuff.
That's what I did.
Then I listened to their newer album. I don't like that one.
I don't either. I don't
like that one because they kind of changed their sound. Metric. I love all their older stuff. Some of the newer stuff is a little weirder for me because they're changing. They have to change with the times because a lot of the other stuff isn't as popular anymore. So I think we kind of get stuck into those things and those things that we like. And because of that, it's harder for us to be open to a lot of newer things because we're hearing a lot of things we don't like, which is popular, because a lot of that stuff isn't aimed at us. We're not the audience.
We're not the demographic for it anymore.
We're definitely not the audience anymore.
And what happens is, especially when you get a band that does a stylistic shift, that happens faster now. Like take Genesis, for instance.
Yeah.
If you take the first Genesis album and compare it to the last Genesis album, they're completely different. Like the running joke is like, well, what's your favorite Genesis? Me, I prefer the Phil Collins Genesis.
Yeah.
From like 1970 something on.
Mm-hmm.
Some people prefer the Peter Gabriel one.
Mm-hmm.
Like for instance, and like same thing with REO Speedwagon, right?
Yeah.
It's like I didn't realize that they had the lineup changes like they did.
Yeah.
I prefer REO Speedwagon after you can tune the piano, but you can't tune the fish. Everything after that is
that the one that had "Ask Me in That Corner"?
Huh?
REO Speedwagon.
REO Speedwagon?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that song
Losing My Religion?
No, that's REM.
Oh, REM. Whoops, my
that's
bad.
That's
totally different.
Michael Stipe.
Whoops.
Yeah, completely. Yeah, I'm going before that.
Yeah.
So, like, another group, for instance, like Pet Shop Boys.
Yeah.
Collectively, I really don't like the Pet Shop Boys.
I West End Girls?
That's the only song from theirs I like.
Yeah.
So it's
Duncan Sheik, Barely Breathing.
Oh, Duncan Sheik, yeah. Savage Garden.
Yeah.
I actually like a lot of their stuff.
Yeah.
But it's the whole Pet Shop Boys, West End Girls. I saw the music video.
Yeah.
This is really cool. And I like the way it sounded, but I know a lot of people who they like the music video because they like the video part.
Yeah.
Where I was the complete opposite, where I like, because I still watch music videos like I listen to radio.
Yeah.
That's just what I'm used to doing, and that's what I've always done. So the whole one-hit wonder thing was it. I mean, that gave it a whole different, almost a different definition. Like, for instance, like you didn't want to be that guy who had 2 hits because you were never on a compilation album.
Yeah.
There's no 2-hit wonder.
No, there's not. There's not.
You either be one and done.
Yeah.
Or you're better. You better do it all.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. Yeah, wow, I'm going to have to go listen to Goo Goo Dolls album again.
Yeah, like for me, I'm a fan of Linkin Park.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not a lot of people like them. It's kind of divided. R.I.P. Chester. I'm bummed that I'll never be able to see them live. But like the first album, Hybrid Theory, awesome. Reanimation was the remixed album of that. I enjoyed that too. Meteora, that's probably one of my favorites because one of my favorite songs by them is Breaking the Habit. Thousand Suns came out, and Minutes to Midnight came out, and I was like, okay, this is still cool. It's different, but it's cool. But then they came out with a Thousand Suns, and that was kind of like their real big change.
Oh, they kind of shifted stylistically.
Yeah, it was genre busting, as they called it, and I hated it.
Yeah.
There's only one song on there, with What I've Done, which was on Transformers, which was all right to me, but I wasn't a fan.
So let me ask you. I know who Linkin Park is.
Yeah.
And I know some of their stuff, but when did they come out? Like
their albums were big when I was in like 2000, 2002 was Hybrid Theory and Reanimation. That's when their big thing came out. That was In the End. That was One Step Closer, Crawling. That was a lot of that stuff.
Okay, so early 2000 then, music videos, because I wasn't watching really music videos
Their
anymore.
music videos were crazy.
That's why I couldn't tell you if I've even seen one.
Yeah.
Which is why, I mean, like I said, I know who Linkin Park is, but I found out about them post.
Exactly.
So I didn't have the exposure to them like you did.
Yeah. And like In the End is one of the songs that I'll perform at karaoke all the time.
Oh, that's your go-to.
Me and my friend Jeremy will duet. I'll do the rapping parts, and he'll do the singing parts. And it's
videos, or it didn't happen.
I do have a video.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay, so I guess it did happen.
Yeah, I do have a video, and it's awesome. That's like fun. I can always go back and listen to early stuff. I can always go back and listen to Craig David.
Craig David.
Yeah, that first album, Montel Jordan. I can listen to that. So it's like I got stuck in a lot of those ways. So it's a lot harder for me to be open to newer stuff. What's funny is I want to say fall of 2014 is when I started listening to one of the local rock stations, 97X. When I realized there's a lot of rock songs I actually enjoy.
Yeah.
Because that weekend, it was the first weekend that my friend Josh had visited here before he moved here. And they were playing nothing but bangers.
Oh, nice.
Nothing but bangers. I was like, oh, I'm going to have to listen to this station more often because this stuff is all great.
See, for me, because I'm a big fan of the 80s. A lot of songs, especially 80s songs, when one plays it brings back a bunch of memories and stuff, right?
Yeah.
There's a bunch of adult-oriented, or what they call...
I keep thinking you're speaking of a different adult-oriented whenever you say that.
Okay, so I'll tell you, they call it AOR for adult-oriented rock, or what you call adult contemporary.
Yes.
So stuff like that. But then at the, I want to say... in the 90s somewhere, I got really into New Jack Swing.
New Jack Swing is awesome.
There's so much Guy, so much Teddy Riley, so much
Mint Condition.
Yeah, and then what's funny was after when that kind of waned, because I never listen. I don't really listen to hip hop or rap,
which I do.
And it was kind of like, okay, I was just kind of listening to the stuff I had been listening to.
Yeah,
I mean, and I really hadn't paid attention to anything else until I don't remember what happened, but I started listening to not 80s and not New Jack Swing. It was just a bunch of other, like, I was looking for something new because I realized that I was wanting to hear something else, and I really couldn't tell you what it was I ended up finding. But I think that's the point where I kind of started on that road of, okay, well, I'll just listen to what I've been listening to, because but then I want to say, because during the whole New Jack Swing thing, I was listening to stuff like, I was all over the place. So I mean, one of my favorites is Bjork. Yeah, her earlier, like her first three. Yeah. And I've recently gone back and gotten some stuff when she was in the Sugar Cubes. So it was like, New Jack Swing. Okay, let's pick something that was out here, because I was dating a girl at the time who was not into our musical taste. Couldn't have been any more different. Yeah. I mean, okay, I also had Jagged Little Pill. I think everyone had that album. Yeah. But, I was listening to all sorts of stuff, and it was, she was back when they had those music clubs, so she had to pick 10 CDs, so I'd give her some money, I'd pick 5 or whatever. Yeah. So it gave me an outlet just to find some other stuff as well, but when that was all gone, I didn't know, okay, I tried going through Best Buy looking at the CDs, but I didn't know what was what. They didn't have any listening stations, and the radio really wasn't playing anything I was that interested in. So I think that's where it started, but I was still looking for something else. Yeah. I mean, granted, through my musical journey, as far as, buying records and this and that, I mean, because I buy records of new stuff too. Yeah. So it let me discover a bunch of older stuff that I hadn't seen. So I did that for a couple of years. Yeah. But that's why I make sure I always ask my kids, so what's popular now? And we'll sit there and we'll look it up on Vevo or something, because I want to see what the music video is. Yeah. Because my kids are in that very visual generation. I don't remember the first music video I showed them, but I remember explaining to them that, so this is, we used to watch music videos for like hours while we were playing, because this was like the radio. Yeah. And they're kind of looking at me like, so? Yeah. Like, Dad, Ariana Grande's on. Yeah, you're kind of talking over it. Yeah. Yeah. But it's the whole, it's like the whole radio DJ thing. It's like, you're talking. We can't hear the song. Exactly. Dad. So it's like, so I guess this could almost be like part 3 of media consumption, which is music. But I mean, it's just the way we listen to it. Music videos were a big chunk of it. I mean, I will say that, I don't know, that's a good solid 10, 12 years. Yeah. I mean, because anytime I heard music as a kid or whatever, I saw it on TV, I'd go there and watch it. There was a lot more music-oriented performance shows on, like I said, Solid Gold, putting on the hits. I mean, even watching Star Search, people would sing stuff. So there was a lot more of that stuff. The variety shows, all sorts of stuff. So music was a big thing. So, I mean, look at USA for Africa's We Are the World.
Yeah.
I remember when I first saw that music video, it was cool seeing a lot of people I would see on MTV singing together. That was like
mind blown.
Yeah. So,
and it's funny because like that was your kind of journey. So like for me, my musical journey was very different.
Right.
So early on is when I started actually getting into music was probably closer to late 80s, early 90s. Mm-hmm. And I would just kind of follow suit with what you were listening to.
Right. Bobby Brown.
Which was a lot of pop.
Yes.
You listened to a lot of pop. You didn't really listen to hip hop.
Right.
And you didn't listen to rock really either, so I didn't really get into that.
The only rock I was exposed to was whatever my best friend's dad was into. So that's how I got exposed to Zeppelin and Pink Floyd.
AC/DC and all that.
And,
yeah.
Right.
And I didn't really get exposed to any of that stuff, so I didn't understand it. And then once I got older, that's when I started kind of getting more exposed to like what my friends were listening to, what they were listening to, like with Linkin Park and like all these other rock groups. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool, and I started learning more about hip hop. And I once I got into first I like Puff Daddy's Mo Money Mo Problems and stuff like that because the music videos is what I would see.
Right.
I was like, oh, this song kind of bangs. Like this is cool. And then I started working. I had my own money, and my friend, he exposed me to 50 Cent.
Oh, yeah.
And that is what got me into like the hardcore gangster rap. I was like, I'm liking this. I was a little upset with you. I was like, you never showed me this. I never knew stuff like this existed.
Well, in my defense, you got to think about where we were at when I got exposed to MTV. We were still stationed overseas.
Yeah, so it was different.
The Philippines, they were all into American pop music, so that's all you heard.
Like, don't get me wrong, I still love Vanessa Carlton and Natalie Imbruglia. I'm still torn, and I will go 1,000 miles. But now I'm ready to shoot someone like Eminem and 50 Cent. And I'm like, forgot about Dre. Don't forget about Dre.
So you went from 1,000 miles to 8 Mile, and that's it?
Exactly. And like, I felt like this whole other world of music was opened up to me that I had no idea existed, and it blew my mind. And then I like once I kind of did that, I started finding myself with music because back then it wasn't called EDM; it was called techno.
Right.
And I listened to drum and bass.
Yeah, drum and bass Gen 1.
Yeah. With like Photech,
man,
and just like all these like 808 like bass mixes, and that was awesome. Then I got exposed to Euro dance, like Euro beats, and I was like, oh wow, these are like fast BPMs. I'm loving this stuff, and then it's like it kind of shifted even more. And then I want to say it was like maybe the early to mid aughts where I discovered indie music,
right?
And I just love this because it's not stuff you would typically hear.
Right, so it was always new.
So like one of the first forays into it was Postal Service. That is hands down one of my favorite bands and one of my favorite albums.
Live studio audience, what did you hear on the way here today?
Oh, you're listening to Postal Service?
Yeah, I said, hey, have you heard this before? Let me know what you think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that album. They even they did a cover to Phil Collins. I don't like Death Cab as much.
Right.
I just like the sound that was Postal Service. I like what was that, and that's an interesting common bond that Anna and I share.
Oh, okay.
She likes a lot of the folksy indie music,
right?
More so than me. She listened to like something like we'll listen to Shins and stuff, but there's a couple other ones just like I don't really listen to as much, but it's still really cool. I went with a concert with her and listened to Blind Pilot. And I love that. So I have a habit of I'll hear something like when I saw the Scott Pilgrim versus the World. That's why I first got exposed to Metric, because one of the bands they based each band on different other bands. So Scott Pilgrim's band was based off of Beck.
Okay.
His ex-girlfriend Envy, her band was based off of Metric. And once I kind of learned that, and I just dove right into the whole like discography.
See, for me, so the late 90s, so I'm bringing the TV thing back in because so I started getting exposed to different types of music. Like, Dawson's Creek was very popular.
Yeah.
In the late '90s, early 2000s, and they would do this thing like because they would play popular music throughout the episode.
Yeah.
And things would catch my ear, and at the end of each episode, they tell you what it was. So why are you looking at me like that?
Because I want to name the song.
So like for instance, Heather Nova. I never would have known about Heather Nova.
No. That's from the early days of CW when it was WB.
That's right, the WB.
Yep.
The WB.
Yeah.
With the frog in the top hat.
Yep.
So stuff like Heather Nova. I got exposed to movies around it, like She's All That. Sixpence None the Richer.
Mm-hmm. Kiss Me.
No, not
the Cardigans.
Not right now. Oh, sorry. The Cardigans.
Yeah.
I still have all those CDs. Man.
Yeah. I still love that stuff.
So as do I.
Yeah.
So it was just interesting to where like I could hear something and it would catch my ear, and then that's when I'm like, Brr, and then I go check it out. So when they started doing stuff like that in shows I watched, it's like and sometimes it's like, oh, what's that song? Like for instance, She's All That came out in '98 or something.
Yeah.
They didn't have a soundtrack, but it had a bunch of songs in it I liked.
Yeah.
So I bought the CDs that had the song. So that's why I have
your own soundtrack.
That's why I have Fatboy Slim.
Oh yeah.
That's why I have Sixpence None the Richer.
Mm-hmm.
And a bunch of I had Rick James and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
But that's it's I remember going to like 4 different stores. Because I really wasn't checking the internet.
Yeah.
So I couldn't just Amazon it, right?
No.
So it's like, I asked the people, they're like, there's no soundtrack for that movie. And
I remember going with you and looking for it.
I was like, how the heck did they not? Because I thought movie equals soundtrack.
Yeah.
There you go. Bam. Done. Kenny Loggins style. Done.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't the case. So music was always a quest. Because I remember you mentioned Photech. Still one of my most favorite albums of all time, Form and Function.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Modus Operandi.
Yeah.
Form and Function was before that, right?
No, I think Form and Function was...
that was in 96.
I don't remember.
Modus Operandi was before that. It was a little bit more chill. Form and Function was the one that had like 7 Samurai and stuff.
Which was dope.
That still is. And the
Modus Operandi was 97. Form and Function was 98.
98.
And I never listened to Solaris Form and Function Volume 2. That's a thing?
Yeah.
And KU Palm? Okay.
So I stopped at Solaris because they stylistically changed, or he did, and I was no longer interested.
Yeah.
But so as like I said, I DJ'd. So it was kind of funny. It was like nighttime doing parties and stuff. I'm playing a bunch of house and trip hop and techno, whatever you want to call it, drum and
EDM.
bass, EDM, right? But during the day I'm listening to stuff like Mariah Carey.
Yeah. Kathy Dennis.
Kathy Dennis was my girl, man.
Yeah, Kathy Dennis and why can I not remember her name?
Kylie Minogue.
Yes, thank you.
Kylie Minogue.
See, you know what I'm thinking.
Yeah, and her sister, Denise.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did stuff too.
And then there was Billy, what's her face, that was on Doctor Who.
Yeah, Doctor Who later on.
She was Rose.
Not Billie Eyelash.
No, not Billie Eyelash.
Billie.
Yeah.
I don't remember what her last name was. And he had stuff like Robin.
Yeah.
So I have a box of CDs and storage I'm gonna have to dig out now because there's just so much. And I remember seeing videos to this stuff.
Yeah. That's how I learned a lot of this stuff.
Right. So it's just so interesting. Like for instance, right? So my kids are into Taylor Swift. They like Katy Perry. T Swift. And so I will. Okay. So every episode I admit something.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, I like the song "Shake It Off." Now, I can. Folks, I think this will be the last time you'll hear me on Buddy Talks. No.
Well, it's been a great episode, everyone.
But what's funny was when I first heard it, the first time I saw it too, and I found the music video very funny.
Yeah.
So now what happens is when I hear the song, I think of the music video. So I was like, do I just like the song or do I just like the music video?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not sure because before I used to be the other way around, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I told you I admit something every episode.
You do.
So yeah, so I enjoy that song. And I find it, and it's catchy. So
I will admit it is a very catchy song.
I mean, so maybe you'll get a twofer because the one I did hear before I saw the music video is "Call Me Maybe."
Carly Rae Jepsen.
Carly Rae Jepsen. Now, I'll tell you what. Now, like I'll hear it every now and then, and I'll still listen to the whole song because it's very catchy.
2 popcorn for me.
2 popcorn, yeah.
2 popcorn for me.
So I mean, that and well, the kids liked it. So
yeah. I mean. It's a catchy song. It's just not one of my favorites.
I mean, am I going to sit there and play Pink Floyd The Wall and expect them to totally get it? No.
Stairway.
That's Zeppelin.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, sorry.
I'm just thinking another song people listen to. Like for me, it's become tradition now for me and Anna. Every New Year's, we put on the 80s and 90s hits, and we just listen.
That's awesome.
And we just listen to all the old school songs.
You know what we call that at my house?
Every day.
Thursday.
Yeah.
No,
yeah. But that's something we do, and then we were like, oh, do you remember this song? And then we play that song, and it's just like, man, that's crazy. And you remember this song? It's like...
It brings back memories.
Yeah.
There's, like the whole... like you said, more money, more problems. So I'm thinking Ferraris, Jaguars, switching 4 lanes.
Yeah.
I'm like...
Jay-Z and... what's his face?
Yeah.
Jermaine Dupri, yeah.
Yeah. So and it's just I don't know, because that was high school for me.
Yeah. Yeah, like for me, one song that always takes me back is Escape, My Little Secret.
Oh yeah.
Because
Escape?
Yeah. That's when I danced at prom and at actually like pivotal moments in high school, like homecoming and stuff like that, with a crush that I had in high school. And I slow danced with them. I was just like, man, this is just perfection. Life's not going to get any better than this.
You had your little Dawson's Creek moment.
I did.
Oh.
I literally did. And then we never got together.
You think she listens?
No.
Oh.
That's a hard no, sir. I'm fairly certain she doesn't listen. But yeah, it's like, it's just amazing what some of these songs are just kind of the memories that they trigger. And like sometimes I'll think of the video. Sometimes I'll just think of a certain time in my life or a certain thing that was possibly going on, and it's just fascinating to see how some of these things will just trigger. Right,
because so with music videos, what I found is that the stuff that I saw first on the music video, my memory of the song is the video, as opposed to other songs where if I hear the song, I think of it'll bring back a personal memory.
Yeah.
Right. So, so a lot of the '80s stuff, I remember the video stuff before that, and even some stuff after when I wasn't really watching videos anymore. I think of like what was going. Like for instance, what was that song? I Get Knocked Down
and I Get Up Yet.
That was
Tough Thumper.
Yeah. Thank you. So
yeah.
I never saw the video for that until recently, but that was very popular when I was a freshman in college.
Yeah.
So it was so that's what I think of when I hear the song.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, like a song that I think of, like is Chet Faker, Gold. Is when they're dancing. When you'll see the video and you'll remember it.
Okay.
It's when like the 3 girls are roller skating down like a dark highway.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
And dancing. Yeah. It's just like, this is really cool and like very well done.
And they were really they were getting it on the
they were doing like really cool dance moves as they were roller skating.
I forgot about.
I think they filmed that video in one night.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
wow.
But yeah, just the way music videos and stuff were done before, like they would be like movies like Michael Jackson, John Landis, and everything. But now it's like I think Drake. I know you don't really listen to a lot of hip hop, but Drake did the song for God's Plan. He hired this one girl and paid her. Well, the studio gave him an exorbitant amount of money. Okay, he hired this one like the person who was doing filmmaking to and paid her, and they donated a lot of the money to the community.
That is awesome.
And in the video, that's what he's doing. He's going to these different places. He's giving the money to the community.
Oh wow!
Really well done music video. It's a very catchy song because I'm a big fan of Drake.
I like some of his stuff.
Yeah. But it's the way music videos and everything that are done now, it's just so different. Like Bobby Shmurda with the Shmoney dance.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's it's definitely something.
But then you have some stuff that were like, well, I mean, part of pop culture. Like, what's that dude, Psy, who did?
Oh yeah, Gangnam Style.
See, I always pronounce it wrong. I want to call it Gundam style, like Gundam Wing, but
if only it would make it so much better.
There.
It would be so much better. Yeah, but like a lot of that stuff becomes you don't hear anything about Psy anymore. You don't hear anything about a lot of these people anymore.
No. I will say though, probably one of the coolest performances I saw where he was involved was when him and MC Hammer got up on stage.
Oh yeah, that was a thing that happened.
Yeah, and then that just went away.
Yeah.
So another outlet actually, where it kind of changed a little bit because remember we were I'll speak for myself. I'll let you I'm a big fan of the Arsenio Hall show.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of. I think that's what got me more in the New Jack Swing. Yeah, because I would see
then.
I would see a lot of the performances there. Yeah. And I was like, who are these people?
Yeah,
and because it was stuff you never really heard on the radio. Like I never saw Blackstreet music video.
I did.
I never
No Diggity.
Well, no, I mean but they had
early on, yeah.
Right.
They had a whole other album.
I never saw a video for Guy. I never saw, a lot of that stuff, I mean, the closest I would get is like Johnny Gill and New Edition or something.
Yeah, for me, Soul
Bobby
for Real.
Brown. Soul for Real.
Yeah.
That's still a tight album.
That's an awesome album.
Yeah. So, and what's funny was when the Arsenio Hall show came back for version 2.0, the same thing happened because Mayor Hawthorne had no idea who that.
You never heard of Mayor Hawthorne?
No, and I bought his album back in now, and now I'm in the group he does called Tuxedo.
Yeah.
So I have all of their stuff. Yeah. So I go, who is this Mayor Hawthorne guy?
Yep, Mayor Hawthorne. A friend of mine, John Griffith. He got me into Mayor Hawthorne.
Mayor Hawthorne. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That's an orange colored vinyl.
Yep.
I went and got it. That was 2012, 2013, something like that. And then I found out about Tuxedo.
Yeah.
And yeah,
like there's another hip hop out of sight. My friend, actually Brandon, he got me onto that. It's like the song was called "Good Evening." It's like that's a catchy song.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're listening to it, you I guarantee you wouldn't imagine what the guy looked like.
Probably not. Yeah. And that happens a lot more now than it did.
Yeah.
So it's just I know good music's good music.
It is.
How you see it or how you hear it or how you're first exposed to it is what's different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But we're actually at an hour and 20.
There's that hurdle again, man.
Yep, there it is. There it is. Yeah, we had a lot of fantastic conversation. I'm sure we can go on at length about this.
Yeah, that could be like a 3-hour episode.
Yeah, we definitely could be. But I'd like to thank you again for coming on and taking us down this nostalgia trip. We pivoted. I'm not gonna lie, when you first came up to me with this idea, I was like, I don't know if we'll be able to go at length about this. Nope.
Yeah,
we definitely can.
Yeah, because I knew all the stuff I wanted to discuss.
Yeah,
and bring up, and there was some stuff that come on. I mean, the thing that made it really cool is that we're 4 years apart. So, and that musically, that's a lot of time.
That's a big gap.
So
that's a big gap.
I knew the only problem we'd have was time. As far as not enough.
Exactly.
There could always be a part 2, I guess.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure there will be.
Yep.
But thanks again for listening. Again, if you have any questions or anything, if you have any questions, especially for Mike, hit us up at buddytalkspod@gmail.com. You can find all the links to the socials and everything on buddytalkspodcast.com. You find me on Twitter at @theartfulgent. Mike, you have anything left to say?
I already said be kind and rewind, right?
No, I don't think you did.
Oh, okay, well, be kind and rewind, and don't forget to take the fuzzball off the stylus before you play the next side.
That's true.
That's right.
All right. Take it easy, everyone.